That's just come back because it disappeared there for a little bit.
Do we have a different cameraman now? Or? It works! Woohoo! Our cameraman did what he needed to do. People who are now tuning in into this video have no clue what we're talking about, but to give a little bit of a view, we've spent, I think, well, almost half an hour now just talking about and waiting for the recording to start. Yeah, we're with the two of us, right?
We are. We have Jackbricks and Tazzmanbricks.
Totally. I need to say something like, welcome everyone, this is Jackbrick and welcome to the channel. And in today's video, I'm at the Lego table together with someone who is actually on the other side of the world. If I would have started to dig underneath my house, as a kid, I was always taught that if I dug a lot and far enough, I should end up in your country.
Yes. Hello, Jack, and hello from Australia. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I'm fine. And you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. It's been great to wake up early and have a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah, yeah. About the early part. What time is it on your end? I'm having this wonderful beer. This is not product placement. I'm just sharing with the rest.
Well, it's after 7 o'clock or 7 a.m. Where I am, and but as they say, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. So who knows? I may even it's going to be 5 o'clock somewhere. So
Well,
beer
it's
time.
5 o'clock somewhere, and where I'm at right now in the Netherlands, it's 12:30 in the night.
Wow. Well, thank you for staying up. Thank you for going the hard yards for us. That's great.
Yeah, and thank you for waking up this early.
Not a problem at all.
So cool.
It is.
So, on your screen, there's a Lego table. On my screen, there's a Lego table. Let's
we must be
start
talking
with
about
yours.
Lego, I'm guessing.
Yeah, would
I'm
this
guessing
be
Legos,
Lego? Yeah, I think Lego is the topic, but before we get into that, because I don't know, you and I both were guests in a podcast recently, weren't we?
We were. So Blocks on Blocks. So Beason and Josh. You can find the podcast on, I think, pretty much most of the podcast platforms. They're also on the Instagrams. Bricks by Beason, and then you've also got Cereal Blocks. Or cereal, is it Cereal Blocks, Cereal Bricks for Josh? It's
No, Cereal Blocks. Yeah,
I got it right. There we go. Yeah, they
that was real fun.
It was, and I'm thinking hashtag global blocks.
Yeah,
because that was the name of the episode that we appeared on was called Global Blocks. So I'm thinking hashtag global blocks.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Those guys are all over in the USA, right?
They are, yeah.
Georgia, and well, they kind of, I guess they found us, or we found each other on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how we. I think it was one day I was just searching for sort of Lego related podcasts, and theirs came up in the list. So I had a listen, thoroughly enjoyed it, and thought, I'll reach out to these guys and say hi, and so that's how I started contact with them, and just basically just said, hey, it was great podcast and enjoyed listening to it, and they replied, and we stayed in contact. So it's been great.
Yeah, I kind of stumbled upon them in the same way, I guess, or one of them stumbled upon one of my posts, one of my shares on the Instagram. And I do want to prevent that we spent a half an hour talking about how awesome that, for me, night, and for you, morning, and for them, afternoon, it was.
Yes, yeah. I listened to a couple of their because I think they've mentioned it a few times now. Your central perk, mock from the obviously the Friends TV show, and I myself was genuinely taken aback when I saw what you were doing, and hats off to you, man. That is a really cool build. I really enjoyed that. The level of detail, and the fact that you took it to that next level of going, I'm going to make a whole building out of it, and so it's something that could happily sit in a city. So yeah, hats off to you, man. That was a really good build. You definitely should be proud of that. Definitely be proud of your efforts on that one. I know Josh and Beason really enjoyed it as well, and like Eve, I think it might have been Josh that said that that could be a whole set on its own. So yeah, it was really good, mate.
I adjusted my camera a little bit. It's somewhere over there.
Yes.
It's standing in the city. It's sitting.
There it is. Yeah, I'm watching it now. It's brilliant. So yeah, be proud of that, Jack. That was a really awesome build, mate.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I think
that is next level.
Yeah, I think the fun thing is that the way you guys were impressed with my central perk building.
Yeah,
I was kind of similar impressed with your building, the pizza place.
The pizzeria that seems to be a crowd favorite, which is one of the biggest, like, just for myself, getting someone. I won't, because I haven't asked permission. So someone on Instagram messaged me and asked me, did I have instructions for that particular build, and I said to them, unfortunately, no. It was just something that I had just grabbed a pile of bricks and started building. I don't use the Lego Digital Designer or Studio or Stud.io, as some people call it, which is the software I think you can get through Bricklink. Or I have no issues with people who do use those programs. I think they're absolutely fantastic, especially if you're looking at wanting to design a build, so you know what your parts are going to be, and that you could actually, you can print instructions. So, but for me personally, it was just something that I spent a bit of time on and just wanted to just grab bricks and build. And for me, it was a huge compliment for somebody to say, do you have instructions? I want to put your build in my city. And I sort of felt it was a very nice compliment, but I felt bad because this person was genuinely like, I really want instruction. That is such a brilliant set. And or build, sorry, because it's not a set. But thank you, man. Again, it's a crowd favorite, that one. So my wife has actually banned me from dismantling it or making changes, and that's the thing with mock buildings. I've always found, like, for me, I'm never finished. And I look at the pizzeria and think, yeah, there's stuff I could change on that now, but I don't think I'd be allowed to. Because my wife, who's not really, she likes seeing the builds and that, but she looked at that pizzeria and she's like, you cannot destroy that build. You cannot pull that apart and do something else. She said it is a really nice build. And, she's like, I would be upset if you actually pulled that apart and did something else with it. Or so.
Yeah.
So I think I'm stuck with it for quite a while.
Yeah, and there's no reusing of those bricks, man.
No, I should have glued it that way. Then I wouldn't be able to reuse.
Yeah.
But no, it's But thank you. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it appears to be a crowd favorite so far, and that
You
one,
know, the thing
yeah,
with those mock buildings, it's really weird. Some have just a special feature in which you just click, and you can't explain why, but that is the reason why you really like it or you're really into it. But
yeah.
I think with the pizzeria, it I looked at it over and over again, and I'm not able to find what part it is that clicks. So it has to be the entire thing.
I think it. I took a few. I've taken inspiration from a few different things that I've seen in my lifetime, and then wanted to just put my own spin on it. So it's not actually modelled after any real life building, but I tried to give it a little bit of I'm trying to think of the correct word. Well, for me, like a little bit of a heritage look on the building, not a modern feel. I wanted to give it a bit of a grand, because it is it is on a full 32 by 32 base plate, and then I've got the courtyard, which I thought, well, that'll help me then as technically a corner build, even though the actual building itself is not a corner build, but having the courtyard, it allowed me then to place it on a corner, and then and so that's why I specifically did that. But it I wanted to give it that little bit of an older or heritage look and feel to it. So but I really appreciate your feedback on that, because for me, a standout mock that you've done definitely for me is your Central Perk mock. So you know for you to say the pizzeria, it's a nice thing. It's really, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, the fun thing is, I think for the both of us, it's the first time that several people, or sometimes even several platforms, just go wild on what you made, right?
Yes, yeah, it's really nice. It's and and that's why I wanted to have my Instagram page, was to share my creations, share my love of Lego, but also my kids, they both are Lego fans, which is great. And my biggest thing is just positivity, and giving people shout outs who really deserve it, because if you've noticed, I recently did a shout out for a YouTube channel called Hit the Bricks. I've messaged him a few times. Seems like a really, really, really nice guy, and I thought, hey, you know what? Hey, good on him, because it's hard to, especially when you're starting out, and you're just trying to get out there and get noticed. And he didn't ask, so I'm clarifying, he did not ask to have a shout out. I asked him if he wouldn't mind. If I said, look, I'm happy to do a shout out. I don't expect anything in return. And it's the same as like with you, with Brickstow, and with Blocks on Blocks. No one's asked me to do a shout out. I just like doing that, because I think, for me, it's the people that I've met through initially Instagram truly are nice people and deserve it.
You could say it is the unconditional love for the brick
Yes, yes.
that makes us like each other's stuff,
Yeah.
and just creating a stage also towards your own followers for someone else
Mm,
is well, in the first place, it is sincere, right? So
yes,
I'm
correct.
not the follow for follow kind of guy. I already
No,
you have some of those pyramid scheme like messages
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah. No,
You get, oh, you want to grow to 1,000 followers? Well, click here, mention 5 others. I always skip
Yeah,
those,
no.
and I always
Yep.
reply with, "Yo, not going to do that. I just want
No,
people to only follow when they actually are interested to what
that's
we're
right.
doing." And
Exactly. And yeah,
yeah, and
I'm
it's
totally the
awesome to experience that there are a lot of us out there who feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm the same as yourself. For me, it's purely, and it's why I like the Instagram platform. Um, I'm happy just to be able um, to share my creations, and to be able to enjoy interacting with other people who like the same sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, but before we go to any other
Mm.
topic, so sorry. Um, you mentioned a YouTuber. What was his channel? You said.
Hit the bricks.
You said hit the brakes.
The bricks, as in so hit the bricks. But I think it's if you just I've found him just by doing a straight just search through YouTube. He's also on Instagram as well. I've
Mhm.
done a shout out, and I just did a little screen capture of his Instagram page. But if you do for his YouTube channel, I just searched for hit the bricks.
Yeah, so it's hit the bricks.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
yep.
a connection issue, or I am just luring you into calling him out, shouting him out for the fifth time. Did you say hit the bricks?
Hit the bricks. Yes. He recently got 100. I think he's up to 100 subs or something. I did see the yeah, I think it was 100 subs on his YouTube channel. So that's great. That's a good start. That's brilliant. It's he's working on a city as well, and it was nice just sort of seeing how he's laying out his city and everything. So
Hmm.
I definitely, yeah, this is why I was happy to do a shout out for him, and I wish him all the best. Definitely.
Really cool, really cool. I am definitely going to find him, and I guess in the description of this video will be a little link. So
Yeah.
none of you guys who are watching do have to do the complex search thing and just are able to click.
Yep.
And maybe we should try to get him up to like maybe 120 or 150 subscribers. I don't know.
Well, I myself, like I actually asked him if he was happy for me to do a shout out. So I didn't want to put him on the spot or anything like that, or make him feel that he had to do something in return. And I said to him in the message, I said, I'm not asking for anything in return. It was just a genuine shout out, and happy to share that with the base of followers that I have, and to show that I'm on here for just wanting to see the best in people, and what they do, and interact with people who like what we all like. So why not?
That's awesome. It I never would have guessed. I think now, maybe almost 2 years ago, when I started with the city and together with my son Dom and his friend Kev, and I really wouldn't have thought that we would go digital in the first place. So YouTube wasn't the plan. Instagram wasn't the plan. Twitter, no plan at all. But it just
Yeah.
kind of evolved in it, and the boys threw in like, maybe we should try YouTube. So we did, and now we're here. And I
Yep.
think I don't know how many videos we've already thrown out there, but trying to do one once every week, and try to vary a bit in what kind of content we offer.
Yeah.
But you had that shout out for Hit the Bricks. I'm definitely going to look him up also on Instagram. And I
Yeah.
probably think because we're kind of into the same things and themes, so
Mm.
I'm guessing he has an extra follower coming.
That's good. Yeah, it's and when Josh and Beason release um when they do their when they do their podcasts, yeah, I just even listening to them just talk about life in general is funny. Like, I don't know whether or not Josh and Beeson both realise that they are quite funny. They're actually they have wicked sense of humours, which is great. So just to hear them talk about just general things, and then of course Lego, and that's why I enjoy their podcast, and it's why we had so much fun when they invited you and me onto their Global Blocks podcast, because us all sharing, the same passion for Lego. I think certainly helped, but also us being probably of similar age. So we a lot of references we could all get because we're all of that sort of almost same vintage. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally. And I agree. Their chemistry, their interaction, it wow. I fell for it. I mostly listen to them
Yep.
when I have a bit of a longer drive to do, like for
Yes. Yep.
an hour or so.
Yep.
Then I just throw on the new episode, or they're not always on time, right? So
Yeah.
they're trying to do one every other week,
Yeah.
unless they sleep in, I guess. But
Yeah.
no, but if there's not a new one and I do have to do one of those drives, then I just throw in one of the older ones, because
Yeah.
the content is enough to just listen back the older ones now.
Yeah.
They're into
Exactly.
season 3, which is cool.
Yeah. And Beason's got and I think Josh is as well. They both have a love of cars, and I know Josh has got a motorcycle as well, and Beason loves sharing his time with his kids, and just talking about what they're getting up to, and it's great. It's another YouTuber I actually really enjoy is Bevan's Bricks as well. He does some fantastic builds. He's very, very clever builder.
He has a
Um,
huge channel.
Oh, he does, and but he's so nice. I've sent him a couple of messages, just like going like his train station mock absolutely blew me away. I'm like, that is such a cool mock,
Is that
and
the one
also
with the big arch made out of railroad
yes,
pieces?
yeah, yep.
Oh
It's
yeah.
that mock is brilliant. So he's now got his own. He's got his own Lego barn, and he's now working on his city, and he's doing the Mills plate system, and and he does some really good tutorials, and he did just a really simple but a really effective tutorial on creating the effect of stained glass windows, obviously with Lego.
Oh, that one.
I,
Yeah.
I,
We've chatted about that
yeah,
on Instagram as well.
yeah. I specifically screenshotted that little so I went to his YouTube channel, did a little screenshot, and put that on mine, and did a shout out to him because I used his tutorial to help me do the stained glass windows for my pub mocks. So I wanted to, because I didn't want anyone to think, oh, that was me. I wanted to actually give him, because I got the idea straight from his tutorial. So I wanted to give him credit where the credit was due, to say, well, this is where I saw that, and I wanted to point people in that direction because it was a really good tutorial, and I liked how it looked on my pub mock. So so for me, I do get inspiration from YouTubers like that as well. So and that's why I believe in doing a shout out, because it helped me, and I thought, well, why not, pay it forward, so to speak. So give someone else who mightn't have maybe seen or heard of his channel yet, and say, hey, check this out, because he's got, see, if you like the sort of stuff that he builds, he also does really helpful tutorials. So
Yeah. They are really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
There's one thing I need to mention, by the way,
Yeah.
before I forget. That's why that little post-it is lying here. I do need to mention this: the 2020 contest at brickstow.com. Why do I need to mention this? You mentioned my central perk mug, right?
Yes.
Well, because I have that big ass mug, which contains like numerous central perk sets.
Yeah.
I have the world of Friends minifigures as a spare. So I decided to give them away. And to do so, I started the 2020 contest concept. Wow. That's hard. I think I just broke a bone, which I didn't knew I had. But to give those away, I'm doing like for every social channel, we're doing one giveaway, right? So we've had the Instagram thing. I just set a target which is somewhat related to 2020. So for Instagram, I said like when I hit 30 or 3,030 followers, we're going to do a small contest, and then we're giving away some stuff. We did that on Instagram, but the Twitter and the brickstow.com and the YouTube target are still open. So if anyone's watching and is, or you, Tess, if you are watching and you're like, well, send over those minifigures, join the contest.
Now, what would happen if I won? I think people would be like, "That's rigged. You had him on your YouTube channel, and he won. It's rigged. Rigged."
Yeah. Well.
Redraw.
I do agree on that first thought, but if people knew what it will take me to send stuff over to you, I don't think they would figure out it's rigged. Hey, something I'm really curious about. It's well, almost summer. I think it's summer next weekend, right? We have that date switch, at least here in the Netherlands, where we say, "Oh, spring is over, summer's here." Yeah, which means on our end, at least, the coronavirus has died down a little.
Yep.
How's it with you guys?
So far in well, at the moment there are still some new cases coming through, but compared to other countries, by Australia and New Zealand seem to be, it's hard to say are we doing okay, because it's such a global being a pandemic, it's such a global effect. So we still have restrictions here in Australia, whether it's to do with travel, but between other states within Australia, or and obviously international travel. So and there's also the social distancing restrictions still, and while the government is easing them, it's such a, I suppose, for we it's hard to say whether life's gone back to normal, because it's been such a it's hard to even describe. I guess it's been such a global event where sadly there have been lives taken, and lives lost. I know myself, I lost my dad, not from the coronavirus, but he passed away just before before it started really getting worse. And I know that it would be hard for him if he was still here now, going through all the social distancing restrictions, and just having to, being such a life-changing event. So yeah, I just hope that either we can get a complete cure or something like that for this, or that it just doesn't happen again, or if it does happen again, that we can be much better prepared. So it has certainly been a life-changing event for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, totally, man. Here as well.
Yes, yeah,
In the Netherlands, it's well, a little bit going back to normal, I guess. We've haven't had a full blown lockdown, but we did have an what what our government said, an intelligent lockdown.
yeah,
Um, I don't think if I really agree on the intelligent part, but it was more like, well, keeping everybody happy, so we're not uh,
mm,
uh, what do you call it? Pressing people into staying in their houses, but we're really,
yeah,
really pressing arguments that they should. Um, but yeah, it's been a mess here. We're kind of close to Italy, where it was in fact a really big mess.
yes, yeah,
And yeah, it's new to us, to our generation, to our
yeah.
parents' generations, to
Mhm.
our kids. I don't know, man. The previous one was the Spanish flu, right?
Yeah, yeah, that, yeah. So
That's several hundred
to have
years
what we have
ago.
now, yeah, it it has been again life. I suppose it's could be seen as a cliche, but a life changing, because it has been a life changing event that has affected the day to day and the norm or the normal. It's yeah,
Yeah, totally.
um,
And
it's yeah,
there are still countries really struggling really, really hard, right? So
yeah,
I think you and
um,
me were in kind of a sort of comfort position at the moment, where numbers are down and the
yeah.
curve is flattened, as they
That's right.
say.
Yeah, if anything, all I, for people watching or and that, is please stay safe. Please look out for yourself, but not only just for yourself, but for your loved ones, for family, friends, neighbors.
Yeah,
Just
even without
yeah,
hashtags, man, stay safe, stay
stay
home,
safe. Yeah,
be
it's
careful. Yeah,
yeah,
agree, agree.
and I we with thankfully with technology we can still keep in contact with with our loved ones and family and friends, and through whether it's Skype or Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever you want to use for doing video chat and things like that, and FaceTime, and
It is so
so
awesome that you call and you just shout out every competitor of the tool we're using today.
whoops. Sorry, Jitsi. And Jitsi, why not? So we have them all in there as well. So, but
Yeah.
I think that because we do have the technology there, that um, while it was, and yes, now they are. Well, in Australia, our like social gathering restrictions are easing.
Mhm.
Um, we're not all the way there yet, but they're easing. But I think the fact that if we can embrace the technology that we have and use it, um, it's at least for me personally, I think it's going to help us get through this. And whether or not we completely can eradicate the actual virus itself. So I'm not a health professional. I don't work in the health industry, so I have no authority on this topic. It's just like myself and you, Jack, and others. We're all living through it. We're all trying to get through it and stay safe. But that is the biggest key. Stay safe. Just But
Mhm.
look out for your loved ones, look out for your neighbours, and your friends, because yeah, I'm a firm believer in positivity, but also trying to look out for others, because one day you'll be in a situation where you could really benefit from somebody else's help. And if it,
Yeah,
for me,
totally.
I suppose it is that whole paying it forward thing, where you do a good deed, someone will do a good deed for you one day. And it's not to say that, oh, I've helped you, now you have to help me. I think it's just we rely on the common decency and the fact that still being able to try to do good in the world
Mhm.
can certainly help.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, stay safe.
Yeah, with
Mm.
that said, that is a heavy topic, but I just can't skip it. It's
Yeah.
something which is well, it has heavily controlled my life, and it's controlling the lives of a lot of us
Mm.
in the most soft way, I guess. And then we also have the intense scenarios where people are really, really, really ill, which are even, I think, a higher number than the ones who are so ill that they actually pass away. So
It's
hard
been
stuff.
it's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, and when the whole world is busy on that topic, then suddenly, coming from the right, we have something else, right? It's
Mm.
I don't know. We do you also have the Black Lives Matter protests?
There's been some protests here in Australia, and obviously there's in other parts of the world as well. Um, it's it's certainly and it's a different world.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's all I can that's all I sort of really want to say on it. It's a different world at the moment, and um, again, myself, I try to firmly believe in just trying to do the right thing and do the right thing by other humans. And it's certainly sad when we see what has happened. It's very
Yeah,
sad.
yeah. It's something which, well, mostly, of course, uh, George Floyd over in America. That's what got the well. Yeah, and that's what got it going this time, I would say, because we've had the protests before, also here in Holland, also in the United States, on
Mm.
several incidents. But I must say, one thing that really struck me, as I always have thought that my country is pretty much inclusive in the way it treats people. Um, we have all the things like gay marriage and such, which I don't think is a political issue, none whatsoever. Um, so I always thought that the discrimination within the system,
Yeah.
wasn't something we'd had here. But
Mm.
I think it was just a week before the big protest started in the US. Uh, the news here that uh, it's the government structure that manages taxes, right? Word got out that they implemented business rules in a new system, which of course they first just had lying around on their desk and on their pin boards. But business rules were, well, where you could say that discrimination was integrated. And I was pretty shocked. At the first glance of the protest here, I thought like, well, of course, I am feeling with everyone in America and with the problems over there, but I thought it wouldn't be such a big issue here, but I guess it is. So
Mm.
it's change all over. I think coronavirus
Well,
is a big change.
yeah.
I think the Black Lives Matters protests are as well. The latter for the good, and the first one for the bad.
Oh, the only thing that I want to say further is every life does matter. Every life matters. I think regardless
agree, man.
regardless of anything, every life does matter. And again, it's very sad what has happened. And yeah, it's and there's a it is just yeah. It truly is a different world at the moment, and but
Even the life of one of those tiny, cute little Lego turtles.
that's a really cool little turtle.
That
But it's
matters
a
as
turtle.
well.
Yes, exactly. It's everything. All lives matter, and
I agree. By the way, without the hashtag, because that has been controversial already. Someone pointed it out to me last week.
but yeah, it's again, everyone matters, everybody.
I agree.
So it's again, it's very sad what's happened. It's yeah.
I totally agree. Should we get into Legos?
I think so. Yes.
We should.
Yes.
I
That's
think we
why we.
should.
Yes, it's well, where should we start though, Jack? This is the. Should we look at?
Well, let's start quickly with those two little figurines on your side of the Lego table.
Okay, sure.
That's you.
So the one without the hat, that is my way of I've just got to word this. It's a little bit hard for me to, but it's my way of remembering my dad, who did pass away earlier this year. I wanted to be able to have him on my Lego journey with me, so that we can sort of walk this little journey together. And he liked that I liked Lego, so I wanted to be able to, in a way, help get myself through what's happened. He passed very suddenly, so of course we had no warning, and so we didn't really get to say goodbye. I mean, people say, oh, you know, you would have went to the funeral, you would have said goodbye there. That's not what I mean by that. What I mean is that, you know, didn't get to be with him in his final moments. So none of us did. So he went very suddenly, and so that's why I've got him with me. We both enjoyed catching up at our local pubs whenever we'd go and visit each other. So the pub mock for me actually holds a little bit more of a sentimental. It holds a little. The pub mock holds a bigger place for me personally than what my pizzeria mock does, because the pub mock is, and what helped me strive to finish it, and what was that I wanted to do something where when I have finished my city, you're going to see Taz and Papa Brickman at the pub, because that's what we like to do. So that was why I wanted to pay some respect to my dad, and we both enjoyed just. We didn't live in the same town, so we didn't get to catch up much. But when we did, we'd always go to our either our local, as we like, you know, to say over here, or our local pub, or and sit down and have a couple of beers and just talk and chill and relax and catch up. And so I now wanted to be able to do that in Lego. So I wanted to be able to have a pub in my city and have somewhere for Taz and Papa Brickman to go at the end of the day, and I suppose a bit of an Australian saying, I suppose, can be said different ways around the world, but catch up for a couple of coldies, a couple of frothy ones, a couple of coldies, and yeah. So And so that's why I've got Taz and also that's why I've got that Papa Brickman with me there today. So
I really think it's wonderful. For once, the relationship you have with your dad and the way you talk about it, I think that is so valuable. And I think even though every time and lifetime is always shorter than we would want it to be,
yeah,
I think the way you remember him and how you can give that little place within your hobby, how
yeah.
cool is that?
Well, for me, it's helping because it's only been a couple of months since he passed. It's still very raw for me, but this is certainly helping just to keep his memory. I mean, obviously, I'm never going to forget that, but um, I want to be able to keep his memory also in a positive light, to just to help me get through this. And um, if I can say to anyone that's lost, whether it is a mother or a father or both, or a loved one or a close friend or something, or a partner or a husband or wife, find something that helps you remember them in a positive way. When it doesn't necessarily have to be Lego, of course, it could be anything. Like maybe, you both shared a common interest in could be movies or,
Mhm. Yeah.
going on nature walks or bike riding or something like that. But find something um, that helps you keep their memory going, because I know for me personally, it has helped. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's something that I wanted to do. I wanted to try it first of all with what I've done with the trying to represent my dad in a Lego minifigure, and I wanted to just see how I would go with it for a little while, and I got a very big surprise because I didn't expect them to make reference to it, and probably people think that we're getting paid to mention blocks on blocks, but we're not. Josh actually on the start of it was, I think it was the March 16 episode. I have to go and check, but I'm pretty sure that was the one. He actually at the start of the episode had said that he wanted to make mention, and just sort of, not a shout out, but um, he wanted to sort of pay some respects himself, but more just to acknowledge, because I had put something on Instagram about it,
Yeah.
and he wanted, and then both him and Beason took a moment of silence, which I was almost in tears. Um, I didn't expect that at all, and it was very humbling. It was it was a very nice thing that they had done. Again, I didn't ask them to do that. But Josh started it in Beason. I think at that time he hadn't quite, because they're both very busy, but he obviously hadn't seen what I'd put on Instagram
Mhm.
about my dad, and yeah, so
Yeah.
he made a quick mention there. So, but again, I was very grateful for what they had and how they had approached it, and so again, my hat is off to both of those guys, and and I have sincerely thanked them both. So yeah, but that's why he's here with me. Now, tell me about yours. I don't want the spotlight on me now.
Yeah.
Tell me about Jack.
Yeah. Well,
About
this is
your figure.
yeah. Yeah. Let me. Yeah. Well,
Is there anything? Is there a backstory, Jack?
I guess the little one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is there? Well, I think it's just a representation of, I think, how I look in real life.
that's
My
awesome. That's great.
my legs end up kind of like where you would expect that the knee would be, and
Yep. Now the
no, that's not
torso
true.
though, the actual torso. What is that you'll have to forgive me. I'm not as much as I love the Lego minifigures. I'm not up with all of the CMFs or all of the figures across the board. So tell me about the torso. Is that off a set, or is it a custom order?
That is in fact a custom order.
Okay, that's
The,
very cool. That's
it,
very. Yep.
it even has a backprint with the name on it.
Oh,
And
that's okay. Yeah. So I did. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. Okay.
really cool.
There you
And the little can of hipster juice is custom as well.
go. That's awesome.
I really like it. Now it actually started with an older body part, which
Yeah.
is just a Lego part, but an older one with also a brown leather jacket, but
Yes,
then
it looks.
not
Yep.
opened like this, but zipped, right?
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and well, I just wanted to flash up the minifig sig fig a little bit, so
Yeah.
I
It
got
is
up
really cool.
the internet and looked it up for the custom figs. And
Yeah.
well, even though this is an open jacket, this was the one who got closest to the
Yeah.
original
Yep.
and did had the print.
Yeah. The open jacket
Yeah,
um is very cool. So that is an awesome sig fig. You've done really
thanks,
well.
man.
It is cool.
Thanks.
Suppose I'll have to look at getting a sig fig one of these days, but for now, just grabbed a few parts that I had in the old parts bin and put something together. So
Yeah, it's perfect.
yes,
I really think it is. You know, Tess, time
yes,
wise,
yep.
I'm really having fun with you, man, and
Same. Thank you so much. It's been a blast.
it's really cool. And I'm just thinking like we're in it for quite a while already. I think we should wrap this up and then record a second one,
Yeah, sure.
following up with all the topics that we still want to discuss, right?
I think I mean, just to start with how we did, look at how the coronavirus has changed, and of course, other stuff that has happened.
Hmm,
Um, again, the most that I myself strive to do, and not just for myself, but for my kids as well, is yes, every life matters, and we all, no matter what race, no matter what, we're all humans. Everybody matters, and to stay safe, and to look out for one another, um,
totally.
and especially with uh, the virus, and just staying safe, but also making sure that your friends and your family are okay as well, because um, it's nice to know that you do have someone else looking out for you, because sometimes you can get in your own bubble, and or sometimes you can feel that no one cares when people do. They may not show it in a way that you can easily recognize, but um, I believe if you are I believe that people do care, and
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been great so far, Jack. It's
You could
been.
say we are all in some way we are all figures, right? Whether
We
we are
are.
human figures, mini figures, nano figures,
Yeah.
well, just figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That
Exactly.
figures.
All right. But thank you for having me on. It's been truly a fun experience, and to be able to connect with people in other parts of the world is also um, a great and a fun experience.
I completely agree. It's been so cool to getting to know you even more than we already did within this conversation. And I just see like, well, time flies. And if we stick on this connection for now,
Yep. That's fine. Yeah,
we definitely can do another episode. So for
sure.
everyone who's viewing this, Taz and I are up for it. So next week, another episode with
Yeah,
Tazman at the Lego table.
looking forward to it.
Okay. Do you want to close it up with a little see you in bricks, though?
See you in Brixtow.
It's perfect. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.
This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by Jack Brick. If you like our videos, subscribe and hit on that bell so you'll be sure you are not going to miss out on our next video. See you in Brixtow. This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by Jack Brick.